Hello, my name is Jaspas and today I'll be teaching you one of the most iconic card flourishes in the world, the Werm card. The Werm card was created by Dan and Dave, and till this day there hasn't been a single card flourish that's quite as concise, symmetrical and beautiful as the Werm card. The Werm card is not at all a difficult move. For most of you guys with about a week to 2 weeks worth of experience in Cardistry, you'll be able to pick up this move fairly easily. It is an easy to do, elegant and perfectly designed move. In the beginning of this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to do this move step by step, and at the end I'm going to give you some tips and tricks to make your Werm card look absolutely perfect. So grab your favorite deck of playing cards and let's get down to learning the Werm card. To do the Werm, first begin with the deck in your non-master hand. Straddle the deck using your index finger, middle, ring finger and pinky along the long edge. Next, have your thumb come to the top long edge. Hold your hand with these two fingers facing down to the ground. Using your thumb of your master hand, approach below the pinky finger, like so. Using the middle finger of your master hand, approach to underneath your index finger, like so. Now, you're going to break into what looks like a Z grip, like so, but instead of breaking into a very exposed Z grip like this, you're going to break into a very small Z grip, like this. Move your right hand downwards like this, while rotating your left hand upwards like this. While doing this, at the same time, you're going to use your index finger to pivot a card out like this. To do so, using your index finger, press against the backs of this card. Push it against your middle finger right here. The card should rotate out like so. Using your left hand pinky, you're going to grip onto this card. All of the steps that I showed you should be done in a single motion. So you go here, Z grip, pivot out, and then grab the packet, like so. One more time, Z grip, index finger, packet, like so. Once you reach this position, you actually can release your index finger's grip on this card. But instead of releasing it by lifting it up all the way like this, have it so that the index finger is just barely touching the card. Just slightly, like so. You can move your left hand forward to make the entire square lean forward, and you can move it backwards to make the entire square lean backwards. Once more, forward and backwards. After leaning the entire display forward like so, using your non-master hand's thumb, reach down to the index corner of this packet. That's the corner with the nib right here. Press on this corner using your non-master hand thumb. You're gonna move the entire display backwards like this, but this time with your thumb touching this corner. Slide one card out while rotating the entire display backwards, and you're going to try to get to this position. Your non-master hand pinky should touch this card along its short edge. Once you've done so, remove your non-master hand thumb and approach this packet right above your master hand thumb using your non-master hand thumb, like this. This allows you to grab this packet using your non-master hand thumb and your index finger. At the same time, using your master hand index finger, regain control of this single card right here by pressing down on the back of this card against this packet. This allows you to move your non-master hand away from this card. Using your index finger and middle finger, control the angle of this card so that you form a display like so. To close the display, move your non-master hand thumb to close the top packet and move your master hand index finger to close the single card. At the same time, you're going to close all 3 packets like so. Alright, so that wasn't too difficult, was it? The worm is one of the most beautiful, gorgeous, simple card flourishes for you to learn. Now, to make your worm more beautiful, there are some tips and tricks that I'm going to share with you guys right now. Tip number 1. Practice so that you're able to open all 4 packets at once, preferably at right angles from each other. The closer you are to expanding all 4 packets at once, the closer you are to a clean, beautiful worm. If you choose not to open all 4 packets at once, you run the risk of having your worm look like this. Or even worse, like this. That's a no-go. Which brings us to tip number 2. Practice your pivots. You want this card to appear all at once, like this. You don't want it to be a matter of going like 1, 2, 3 and having it finally reach its final point. Instead, practice so that you can get this card to pivot perfectly into this position every single time, all at once. Tip number 3. Once you get into this square position, it can be quite a seductive idea to move your hands back and forth all day long. But doing so makes the flow of the move less beautiful. Instead, just try to go for 1, 2, 3 and then you bring the card up. Some people within the cardistry community have an even more minimalist approach to this. They just go straight into the square, lean forward, lean back and then go into the worm display. I personally feel that both methods are fine as long as you don't overdo this movement. Tip number 5. Once you get into this position of the worm, try to ensure that this packet and this packet right here expand at the same speed. They also should maintain some level of parallelness. So notice how this packet and this packet are both parallel. If instead you have one packet like this and one packet like this, the card tends to look less beautiful. So instead of having the packets look like this, straighten this out and lower this in so that they become symmetrical. You can also increase the angles of both cards like this as long as the display is rotationally symmetrical. Tip number 6, and this one is the single most important one. No matter what you do, don't go into the worm and use your chin to open another packet and then post it on the internet asking people whether this has been done before. It has, and because of the way it breaks the symmetry of the entire worm display, it tends to not look very good. Alright guys, so there you have it. That was the worm tutorial. Welcome to the new season of School of Cardistry tutorials. And I also hope you guys enjoy the new 4K footage. Let me know in the comment section below whether or not the 4K footage has helped you see the move even better. Shoutouts once again to Dan Dave for allowing us to teach one of the most monumental card flourishes in the history of cardistry. Shoutouts also to you guys who managed to pick up the worm in a single sitting. If you have any questions with regards to the worm or some sticking points you may have doing the worm, don't hesitate to tag me on Instagram at Jaspas or at the New Deck Order with a performance of your worm. Until next time guys, take care.